guys, it's Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I have a foundation routine tutorial for you guys. This has been so requested, especially in the past couple of months. People have apparently been dying to know how I do my foundation. I don't think it's anything too special, but this is a really good routine if you have oily skin, which is what I have. If you have drier skin, this probably won't work for you as well, but you could definitely take some of the tips and tricks that I share and kind of tweak some of the products to fit with your skin tone and your skin type. Another thing I just wanted to mention before I get started is that my foundation routine is not the same every single day. Most days I'll just throw on tinted moisturizer, a little bit of powder, and just walk out the door and just call it quits. This routine I'm showing you in this video is if I'm wanting a full face of makeup. This includes primer, liquid foundation, setting powder, blush, highlight, all of that good stuff. But I don't do that every day, and also the products I use do vary every single time. I don't use the same foundation every day. I don't use the same blush or highlight. That pretty much depends on the eye look that I have. I don't always use the same tools to apply the product. Sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I use my beauty blender. So it really depends. But this is just a routine that I could come up with that I think if I wanted a full face of makeup, if I was going out on the weekend, or I just wanted more coverage, this is what I would do. So I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial, and let's get started. Alright guys, so you guys can see this is my face without any makeup, any powder, any foundation, anything. It's far from perfect, but this is what it is. I already have my eye makeup on, as you guys can see. That's just a personal preference. I know some people prefer to do their face makeup first before their eye makeup. I prefer to get my eye makeup done first, just because if I have fallout or something from my eyeshadow, which I did today because I used a pigment on my eyes, if I have fallout, it won't mess up my foundation and concealer. I can just cover up all the fallout afterwards. Also, a quick side note, if you guys are curious on the eye makeup that I'm wearing, I already have a tutorial on it, and I will link it in the bottom bar for you guys, so you guys can check it out if you want. So let's just get started with the foundation routine. Every single day my foundation routine changes. Like I said, it is not the same day today. Most days I just wear tinted moisturizer. Today I'm just going to apply full-on foundation, just show you how I do it if I do apply every step. So the problems with my skin today, you can see basically I have uneven skin tone and like uneven surface, especially on my cheeks, because I used to have a lot of acne on my cheeks. I do have really big pores right in here, and today I have a few zits down here, which is really exciting. So the first step of my foundation routine is to apply a primer, and I almost always use this. This is the MAC Matte Crème, and I have super oily skin, so I find that this really helps keep my oil levels at bay throughout the day. So basically I squeeze out just about that much on my finger, and I'll just begin patting it kind of in the main areas of my face that get oily, which is my forehead, nose, right here on my cheeks, and my chin. And then what I'm just going to do is almost just kind of smooth it. I'm not gonna like rub it into my skin. Just kind of smooth it over my skin. And just by kind of smoothing it over my skin, this is almost going to act just as like a barrier between my skin and the foundation. And this barrier is going to help keep the oil from my skin from disrupting the foundation. So after you've applied the matte cream, just let it sit for about a minute or two. Then the next step in my foundation routine is to apply Urban Decay De-Slick. This is an oil control setting spray. Now, this says to use it before and after you apply your foundation, so I just use it as it says. And I know some of you guys are like, isn't that overkill to apply the matte cream and an oil setting spray? I have really oily skin once again, so I need as much help as I can get. So I just shake that up and then hold it about 6 inches from my face and just spray it a few times. I sprayed it about 3 times, and then once again let that set. Okay, so the liquid foundation we're going to be using today is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. Now this varies every single day as well. I don't really stick to just one foundation just because I have a lot that I need to use up, but I really love the Makeup Forever HD. I only have a sample of it. My shade is 173, as you guys can see. I only have a sample of it, but I will be buying the full size once I run out of this sample because I love this stuff. So basically what I do with this is I just kind of dot it over my skin. And then for the fun part, I take my Beauty Blender sponge. This sponge I've actually soaked under lukewarm water, and I just squeezed all the water out, but it basically expanded to double its size when it's dry, and then I just start patting it in. I start by patting like this, and I just basically get it all over. Be sure to blend all of those spots that you got. And then for anything that needs extra help blending, I kind of take the side of it and like roll it over my skin like this. And this rolling motion will really help blend right here around your jawline and really help blend the foundation into your hairline to make it look a lot more natural. And you also take the corner and kind of go in around your nose so you don't miss any spots. And it goes super, super fast with the Beauty Blender too, guys. In like literally like a minute, your foundation is done. It's awesome. So that's that. And then for a little bit more coverage, I usually take just a touch more foundation and get it just on my cheeks, which is where I basically have my main problem areas, and just bring it a little on my chin. And then just blend that in. And that's kind of like a second layer of coverage. And the good thing about the Makeup Forever HD is it's super buildable, so you can kind of build it on itself and it won't, you know, start looking cakey and weird. And then once again, take the side of the Beauty Blender and just start blending it. This comes naturally to you after you use it for a little bit. It just kind of works like an extension of your hand almost. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Then for my blemishes, which were not covered up by the foundation, I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer. I'm using my MAC Studio Finished Concealer in NW35. And I'm just kind of taking it and patting it over the blemish and then just kind of blending out the edges with my finger. I found this is the best way, for me at least, to apply concealer. Because it helps the concealer kind of melt into your skin and it almost kind of looks like it's not there. So that's as good as that's going to get. This is a bump, so I mean, you're not going to be able to completely cover it up, and that's totally fine. It's not a big deal. I find if you really load on the concealer on there, it's almost going to attract more attention because it looks like it doesn't belong, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Alright, and then before applying setting powder, I'm going to apply my cheek highlight. Most of the time I prefer my cheek highlight to be a cream product and I prefer my blush to be a powder, but you know, once again, it changes every single day. I don't use the same product every single day. Today I'm going to be using my Benefit Girl Meets Pearl highlight. It's one of my all-time favorite face highlighters, and it's got this really weird, almost glue stick type applicator, so I just pull out a little bit and then just get it on my finger like that, and then I just kind of blend it onto my cheekbones. Now, I also personally don't like too dramatic of a face highlighter because I have oily skin. I find that if I have too much shimmer on my cheek and then if I get oily throughout the day, it really looks like a lot. So the lighter the highlight, the better for me. Okay, and then to top it off, before I apply my powder products, I'm going to respray my Urban Decay De-Slick. Let that set a little bit. Okay, now I set my skin with a little bit of powder. I have to set my foundation with powder. Once again, otherwise I will get really, really oily throughout the day. So my most reach for setting powder is the Mineralize Skinfinish Natural by MAC. And I always use my MAC 182 Kabuki brush to apply that. And then a good trick I found when applying powder is not to like sweep the powder, but to kind of just press it into your skin. Even if you use a brush, if you just press it all over your skin, it won't like sweep away your foundation and everything else that you applied underneath it. And I've also found that if you over powder your face by putting too much powder on, not only will it make you look super cakey, but when you do get oily throughout the day, it'll look even more obvious, like you have layers of foundation on. So you want it to be as natural as possible, so don't apply too much powder and press it into your skin like this. And then just to help blend it down the neck, I do just kind of blend it like this, just around the jawline. Okay, and then most of the time I'll do my eyebrows, and the only thing I do to my eyebrows is I take a little comby thing like this and I just comb them just to kind of get off any powder if any of the powder went on them. And I just kind of comb them into place. And that's all I do. I do not fill them in. I don't do anything really special to them. I just tweeze them and then just comb them into place. I get a lot of questions on like what brow powder and stuff I use. I don't use any brow powder. My eyebrows are thick enough. Also, most of the time I don't apply a brow gel or anything, just because I didn't apply brow powder or anything, so I don't really find that I need it. Alright, and then last step for cheeks, I'll just show you how I apply my blush. I'm just going to be using my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Blissful because I love that blush, like, to death. And I'm using this brush. I got this brush at Walmart, and you guys need to go check these brushes out if you have a Walmart near you, because they're not duo fiber, but they almost remind me of those Sigma brushes that, you know, have the two-toned fibers, because they're super, super, super soft. And they're really good, especially to apply blush. And they also have like eye brushes and stuff. They're super soft and really good quality, and they're really inexpensive too because they're from Walmart. So basically I just tap the brush in there. I don't generally have to worry about getting too much blush on the brush, just because first of all I like a lot of blush, and second of all because my skin is darker, I don't have to worry about looking like a clown most of the time. It also really depends on the blush. If you use a NARS blush, you do need to be careful with that. So then I just smile to find my apples, and then I just start by swirling it just on the apples and then slowly kind of bringing it back. And then the angled shape of this really helps to kind of bring it up, and I almost kind of blend it a little bit into the hairline. I do this with all my blushes just because I find it looks a little bit more natural for your blush to kind of be coming from the end of your cheek rather than just like a blob of color right here on your apple. And this brush is so soft, and it just blends your blush in effortlessly. I love it. And then also this camera doesn't really like to pick up blush, so I do have a good amount of blush on, but you know, the camera doesn't really want to pick it up. And another thing, this is a tip if you guys have big pores right around your nose area. Try not to bring too much blush like right in here. I just kind of start it right here away from where my pores are so it won't attract too much attention there. And another tip is to use a matte finish blush. If you put a lot of shimmer right in here, right where your pores are, it'll make your pores look even bigger. That's why I reach the most for my matte finish blushes. My shimmer blushes don't get used too much because I prefer to apply a matte blush and then just apply a little bit of a shimmery highlight right in here so I can really control where the shimmer is put. And that also helps with oily skin. So big pores, oily skin, I would, you know, be a little cautious of shimmery blushes. So that is it. That is my full face foundation routine. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. All of the products that I mentioned in this video and that I used in this video will be listed in the bottom bar. So just click the more info section and I have a list of all the products that I used in there. I hope this video was helpful to some of you guys, especially if you have oily skin. I would definitely check out some of the products that I used for oily skin, like the MAC Matte Cream and the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. If you don't have oily skin, then those products can pretty much be skipped. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!